work straight down.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, an investment in Texas's children is an investment in the future. There have been studies that have shown that for every dollar that you invest in public education, you save $1.30 in future costs for things like incarceration, for things like healthcare. All of those costs are reduced by investing in public education. And we know how to have a successful public education system. We just haven't had the courage as a legislature to actually pursue those things. It's pretty simple. What you have to do is invest in early childhood education, full day pre-K for the students that need it the most, identify your best teachers and put them in front of the students that need them the most, and encourage those teachers to stay. You do those three things, you've got a world-class education system. And I believe it's within our grasp to do that here in Texas, but we haven't done it yet because we just haven't had the political will to do so. Send me to Austin, and I'll add my will to that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Whitfield?
Do we like democracy? Do we like America the way that it can potentially be? If we care about protecting our planet, protecting America and all that we know it is, then we have to fight to make sure that we protect our public schools. This is the place that our children learn civic education. This is the place they learn how to think. This is the place they learn social, emotional well-being. We have to put as much priority to this as it deserves, and that is our #1 priority. And I've seen as a legislative aide in 2005, when we were talking about these same issues, and Senator Whitmire, whom I was working for, stood up to filibuster a bad bill. We're still fighting, and we're going to be fighting in 2021. And we need everyone in this room, I know you're here tonight because you care, we need you to stand up and let all of us know, and all the other elected officials, that no longer will we put public education in second place, that we are going to insist that we dedicate as much to this as we can. I've spent a lifetime fighting for things that really matter, fighting for our country, fighting war criminals, fighting in courts against people who've done it in service. I am ready to go to Austin and fight the bullies and fight the folks who aren't ready to do, haven't been doing the job the way it should be. I would ask you to check me out, whitfieldfortexas.com. I'd be honored to have your support and to continue this discussion after we meet or any other time you'd like to chat with me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Edmondson?
Well, in closing, I want to again thank the organizers of the event tonight. I appreciate them allowing me to let you know a little bit about my campaign, me, and also my positions on public education. Now, in a state like Texas that prides itself on being the best in so many things, and in fact has the second largest economy in the country, why are we falling so short in the area of public education? Well, part of it is because between 2011 and 2016, the legislature cut $5 billion out of the education budget. Now, HB 3 restored that money, and that is a good thing. It's a great thing, politics aside, but we are still ranked 43 in the nation. That's ridiculous. So there is more to be done. There's more work to be done, first of all, to make sure that our school districts can meet the mandates that are in HB 3 for them. There's more to be done to make sure our teachers want to teach, they want to go to work as teachers, that they earn a living wage and don't have to worry about their retirement. And there's more work to be done to make sure that our children can learn in a safe environment. And finally, we need to make sure that the legislature earmarks dedicated money for education. Now, my name is Deborah Edmondson, and when you think of the D in Deborah, I want you to think of defender. And when you think of the ED at the beginning of Edmondson, I want you to think of education. Deborah Edmondson will be a defender for public education in Austin. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Gillick, next.
So I think one of the things that we should probably all take away from this is that there's a lot of things that we agree on, and one of the key things that we agree on is that education, and a solid education, is a pillar upon which we build our civil society. And it's also the stepping stone that we're going to take to the next, to the future, and it's going to allow the next generations to actually be able to prosper as we have. And when we're talking about who we're going to actually send down to Austin to talk and talk about these issues and to represent us, I think we're going to have somebody who has the ability to actually communicate, but also to listen to the constituents and represent the district. Leading a multinational coalition force and being part of the legislative deliberative body like the State House, there's a lot of commonalities there. And one of them is you can't go there and just bark orders and expect people to follow. You actually have to get people on board, all on driving towards the same mission. The way that you do that is listening. I'll tell you this, as your next state rep, you can guarantee that I'll be sit down with anyone who wants to talk with me, and if there's a point where we disagree, I will explain why. There will be no hidden agenda. I will explain my positions, I will listen to you, and if new information comes in from your point of view, I will absolutely take that into consideration in crafting policy and deciding my opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Representative Caprillion?
So again, House Bill 3 was an incredible piece of legislation that we worked on, but I'll tell you, it took a long time for us to be able to get there, to be able to get agreement. It was, at the end, a bipartisan, bicameral decision to go and pass that legislation. Part of the reason we did that was because you all made your voices heard. Whether it was voting or whether it was providing emails and comments to your state reps, your state legislators, to talking to people like Raise Your Hand Texas or others to go and communicate with us on what to do. So as we work forward, HB 3 is not the end, it's the beginning of the next phase where we're going to continue to go and make positive changes to how school finance, how education and quality education is attained here in Texas. So what I would ask all of you to do is provide me and with your other, if you're in other districts, your state reps, provide us those ideas. It's great for us to all sit up here and sound like we know everything that we're talking about, but really it all comes from you at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Griffin?
I want to start my closing comments by saying a thank you to all of you, because that's really what this is about. Hearing from all of you in the audience about what you think needs to be done in Austin, what needs to be done with public education. I think that's paramount, and you know, I'm a product of public education. I grew up I went to elementary school, high school, and public education. I did junior college and college, and I'm very fortunate to have those experiences in my business world to get to where I am today. But I've dedicated my entire adulthood to be of service and giving back to my community. And what I will leave you with is that, you know, I'm a proven leader who listens to his constituents, and build relationships, and I work with others to find solutions. And that's what I promise I'll do for you as your next representative in Austin for District 92. Thank you very much.